Hi, I'm Ruby and welcome back to my channel. A kind of classic video for booktubers to do is the monthly wrap-up where they talk about all the books they read that month, give a brief synopsis, a little review, chit-chat a little bit, and that's great. I love watching those, but I kind of thought it might be more fun for me to do them as shorter videos that are a little more frequent. So instead of doing a monthly wrap-up, I'm just going to do a wrap-up every time I finish 5 books. I took some inspiration with this concept from Books and Lala, who used to do 3 thriller videos where she would just do a review every time she finished 3 thrillers. So I'll link some of those below so you can check that out. So here is the first of hopefully many of my finished 5 series. And here are the first 5 books that I finished in 2021. Up first, Pride and Prejudice. You recognize her if you've seen the Pride and Prejudice reading vlog, which I will link down below. And I said a lot in that video, so I won't say very much right now. This was a 5-star read for me. It was something that I read because I'm participating in the Down Memory Jane read along. I'll link one of the announcement videos down below also if you want to hop on that with me. Yeah. All right, next up, Interior Chinatown by Charles Yu, another book that I physically own. So this was the pick for my book club this month, which was great because it was already on my radar. I did want to read it because I'm trying to keep up with like book awards, and this won the National Book Award for Fiction in 2020, so I'm glad that I read it, and I get it. I get the hype, I mean. This book is a satire on the Asian American experience in America, obviously, with like discussions of Chinatown and just like the stereotypes, the like performance of race and passing and assimilation, and it tackles all of that by telling a story of this young man, Willis Wu, who lives above a Chinese restaurant, the Golden Palace, where he works, and so does everyone that he knows. And they all are like background characters or like side characters for this detective show that is always shooting there. The show is called Black and White, and it has one black detective and one white detective continuously solving various murders of Asian people in the Chinese restaurant in Chinatown. So through that like analogy where Black and White, the show, is Black and White America, and Willis Wu wants to be Kung Fu guy because he believes that to be like the highest role that there is for a generic Asian man. And what follows is an exploration of race, assimilation, class, well, you know, everything that I already said. Really liked this. I liked the story. I did have a little trouble getting into it initially because the way that it's written is like part of the story. It's written sort of like a script, sort of not, and that just, I don't know, it took me a moment to like get used to, especially after reading Pride and Prejudice. So yeah, fantastic book. Loved it. Yeah, I did only give it 4 stars. The way that the ending was, I didn't, not to say I didn't get it, but maybe I didn't get it. There you go. Okay, the 3rd book that I finished was called Magic for Liars by Sarah Gailey. I listened to the audiobook of this and I don't recommend it, to say the least. I just thought that the performance and the like characterization was off for me, and it changed the way that I reacted to some things, and I could tell that if I was reading it, I would have felt differently about it. So yeah, I don't recommend the audiobook. I don't remember who read it, but just no. The story is it's a detective novel, basically, about a private investigator who like is maybe kind of an alcoholic. She's not doing great. She also has a twin sister who she is estranged from, who teaches at this boarding school, and a weird murder or suspicious death happens at the boarding school, and somebody reaches out to our main character Ivy to like look into it, because the authorities like said it was an accident and the school kind of doesn't think so. So Ivy, who has like not seen her sister, spoken to her in years, goes to the school to figure it out. And oh, it's a magic school. That's the only other thing, is that the estranged twin has magical abilities and teaches at this magic school and went to a magical boarding school that Ivy could not go to because Ivy is not magical. And that is kind of the basis of their estrangement. And so as we are, you know, following along with Ivy trying to solve this in a high school full of magical teenagers, we are also watching these two sisters sort of like stumble through rebuilding a relationship, and do they even want to, and you know, what's at the root of what pulled them apart in the first place, etc. And it was great. The story was really good. The narrator was bad. Thought that the way that Ivy was written was really funny, and the way she was talking about the teenagers I thought was like spot on for teenagers. The thing that really stuck with me after reading this book, however, is not the mystery, not the sisterly dynamics or whatever. It was just that there were gay characters just like around, and that was it. Like, you know, in a school, lots of teenagers, a boarding school, yeah, they're probably hooking up, they're probably dating. Of course they are, and of course some of them are gay. And so some of them were gay, and it was not used as like a plot point. It wasn't like, and she's gay. It was just like that, because that's how it is. Even one of the main relationships in the story was a lesbian relationship, and like that was not part of it. You know what I mean? Like, it was not used as a device. It wasn't used to like say something about the characters. There was no like real stereotyping about like what lesbians are like. How to say this without spoiling anything. There's a male character who it is briefly mentioned in a way that, in a context that makes sense, that he had a boyfriend and he's still pretty close to that boyfriend, but at the time that we're learning this, he is currently pursuing a relationship with a woman. A bisexual man. There's a bisexual male character in a book, and it's not anything. Like, of course, the gender of your current partners, previous partners, it's not something you need to worry about. It's not part of it, right? Like, a bisexual man that is just allowed to exist. He just gets to be bisexual, and that's that. It's fine. Nobody cares. It doesn't make him unattractive. It's not shameful. It's like literally fine. Wow. I just found that really shocking, and like not in a bad way. I just was like, I was wowed by that. But I'm so mad that I was wowed by that. But anyway, yeah, that's the kind of representation that I want to see for gay people in literature. Just there. Just like around. Magic for Liars. There were a lot of lies. It was a great mystery. The twist was twisted. Like, the ending was not that satisfying, you know, if you like that. I like that. So yeah, that's Magic for Liars. There you go. The fourth book that I read this month was Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. And I gave this 4 stars also, although the more that I think about it, like now that I've sat with it for a few days, no, well, it's like if Magic for Liars was 4 stars and Interior Chinatown was 4 stars. It's just hard to rate different genres on the same 5-star scale, because a smutty romance is not the same as like a literary fiction about race in America, you know? So it doesn't seem fair that they get the same like rating. But as far as like, did I really like it? Yeah. Did I love it? No. So 4 stars it is. Chloe Brown, 4 stars. Moving on. This book is, like I said, smutty romance. It's about Chloe Brown, who is a young woman who has a near-death experience, and that sort of inspires her to change her life, because she's like, wow, what are they even going to say about me when I'm dead? which is not fair. That's not a fair way to think about your life, but she sets out to get a life. So the first thing on her list is to move out of her parents' house and into her own apartment, which she does. And there she meets the superintendent of the building is a young, very handsome young lad named Red. And that's the romance. It's Chloe and Red. I think, Chloe's chronically ill. She has fibromyalgia. So that's sort of the draw of this book, was that it's like about a chronically ill woman, but she's still sexy and she still gets it on, and you know, she's hot, she's fun, she's whatever, but she's also chronically ill. And I'm gonna link below a video that another booktuber, Maddie, made talking about the fibromyalgia rep and how like accurate it seems, but basically I think Talia Hibbert has fibromyalgia, and so probably a lot of this is based on her experience. And the main criticism that Maddie had about representation of the illness in this book was just that Chloe is extremely privileged, which she is, and I think that's part of her character. Yeah. So I don't know, do it that way you will. Yeah, this was like, I don't know what the trope is it like hate to love or whatever? For me, I think I really liked this book, partly because Red was very hot to me, and if he's hot to you, then you'll probably like it, but if he's not hot to you, then I don't think you will like it, because actually this book is kind of more about him and his personal arc than hers, which I didn't like, but I liked the rest of it, so there you go. Okay, and the fifth book that I finished in 2021 is Outlander, the first one, by Diana Gabaldon, or whatever. I started this book last fall. I was doing it as a buddy read, which was fun. I read it with my partner. We would like read it back and forth, like while one of us was cooking or while we were hiking or something. That was pretty fun. But yeah, 2 stars for me. This book had so much sexual violence, like of every degree and variety represented. So full spectrum of like sexual abuse, assault, everything else. It was all there. And I get that in the 1700s, maybe people weren't as aware of consent or like concerned with that, but this was a little bit outrageous, and frankly, like, we were skipping over like chunks of the book, like not chunks, but like scenes, because I was like, I don't want to read this. It's horrible. So yeah, 2 stars because time travel's cool, kilts are cool, her medicinal abilities, that was fun, but big thumbs down for this overall. The only reason I'm glad that I read this was that now me and Connor do Highlander accents for fun, and I can more clearly communicate to everyone I know not to read it. Oh, what is it about? If you don't know what Outlander is about, it is about a woman who has just kind of reunited with her husband after World War II, where she was a nurse, like on the front lines, I guess, and he was doing something else, I don't know. So they're on like a honeymoon kind of to like reacquaint themselves. They haven't been together in like 5 years or something. So they're in the Scottish Highlands, and Claire is out and about, stumbles upon some magical rocks. She falls through the rocks. When she gets up, she is in the 1700s. She has fallen back 200 or so years. That's kind of it, aside from all of the sexual violence, as I said. Don't recommend. Those are the first 5 books that I finished in 2021. I'm pretty pleased with my track record. I liked 4 out of 5 of them. That's great. Good job, me. Keep up the good work, and make sure that you are subscribed if you don't want to miss the next one of these videos whenever the heck that drops. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you later. Bye!